this video, you will learn how to poost. First, why is it called poosting? That's actually very simple. It comes from the word boosting mixed with the word spear. It's mixed with the word poost because the only melee you're able to poost with are light spears. So this one, this one, this one, and this one. As you may already know, a single attack click with one of these melees will make you dash slightly forward, then backward. This creates several poosting techniques. Currently, there are only 7 types of poosting techniques. This list could possibly grow even more because we're always discovering new ones. Let's start with the 2 most common. Bow switch poosting, aka normal poosting, was the first poosting technique discovered in the game. Found by 12 Bobs on January 14th, 2023, it requires you to switch to bow to cancel the backwards dash. Here's an example. This poosting technique is very handy for moving around during fights because having to switch from your melee to your bow allows you to be able to shoot arrows just after a boost. On the other hand, its defect is that it's the slowest poosting of the 7 techniques. Found by Razgriz on August 9th, 2023, Omni Poosting, as the name implies, allows poosting in any direction. To practice it, you need to lock your head in the only angle that you don't intend to poost, so looking straight at the floor or at the sky. Then switch to third-person camera, for those who don't know it's the Y key, and attack with your melee while going somewhere to move around. Keep in mind that for poosting techs that require you to look straight up or down, you just press attack to poost, which is very, very handy. No switch or aggressive mouse movement needed. You don't need to time the clicks with player animation either. This is the fastest poost method. Perfect for speedrunning in my opinion. Even a bit too perfect, because it's so fast the speed hack anti-cheat slows you down if you abuse the Omni Poost. So the better you manage the Omni Poost while coming close to the limit of the speed hack anti-cheat, the more unstoppable you will be. Although anti-speed hacks can't be avoided every time, unfortunately. You can also switch the weapon to reload. This technique allows long difficult jumps where you can rely on speed hack anti-cheat. That stops you mid-air when exceeding speed limits. The disadvantage of the technique is that you won't be able to fight at the same time, so you'll be forced to avoid the arrows, which is not very hard to do when you master the technique and the maps while observing the movement of your enemies. Afterwards, it'll always be difficult if you come across several guys at the same time, but it would also be difficult too if you could fight. The technique is pretty overpowered, which is problematic because it kills the flag capture gameplay. For those who don't know M8, M6, it's the most popular squad in the game that runs 24 hours a day. It's a meeting place for the entire Narrow.one community. I joined a few days ago on M8, M6 since the technique gradually became known. I observed a comfortable drop in the number of players in M8, M6 because the Omni Poosting speedrunners were too fast, and so nobody had time to fight and all of the fun was dead. Found by Lej19 on October 3rd, 2023, floor poosting starts by looking in the direction you want to go, then lunge, then jump, then look straight down and hold back till the animation finishes, then hold forward again and repeat. Or you can first look straight down, then walk in the direction you want, click attack, and preferably jump halfway through the boost. This technique is very interesting because it has both advantages from Omni Poost and Switch Poost, which are being able to fight and having the same speed as if you Omni Poosted. On paper, the technique sounds phenomenal, but being it's a mix of 2 other techniques, it takes quite a bit to pull off. So much so it could also be very disadvantageous in certain scenarios. Being you're in first person, you'll inevitably need to make aggressive mouse movements, such as switching from looking straight up and down to looking in the direction you want to go, which is quite hard and pretty hazardous if you're trying to find your way around the map. On top of that, you'll have even more difficulty observing the movements of your enemies while floor poosting. And the speed hack anti-cheat also applies if you abuse this technique. Found by ToaFlow on March 21st, 2023, 180 poosting uses that same forward dash first, but then instead of avoiding the backwards dash, you use it as an advantage in turning back 180 degrees to reverse dash direction. Here's an example. This is a more extreme version of floor boosting, which will allow you to go even a bit faster, but which is even harder to control because the movement is even more abrupt. One thing that is very good about 180 boosting, though, is that you can catch up depending on the situation with the second small boost during the rotation, which makes the 180 boost the best boost combat technique. The name 180 doesn't imply you're supposed to necessarily dash in straight lines. That's the most ideal thing to do if you're wanting to go from point A to point B fast, but if you use it for fighting, you can basically use your second mini boost in any angles in order to surprise or avoid your enemies. Found by Liege19 on September 9th, 2023, edge boosting is when you boost into the edge of a prop to get an extra high jump. Preferably that edge is smooth. Essentially, the angle you look down should be about 20 to 40 degrees. Boost directly into the object without jumping, much more reliable, while pressing forward so that you lunge into it. Then press back while jumping with the recoil. It was previously thought to be based on RNG, but it seems to be based on hitbox interactions. Found by Creepy on May 20th, 2023, ladder boosting is used to jump unexpectedly high off the ladder's top. At its core, it relies on edge boosting, but is increased by ladder physics, where there's that weird catching when going up. Then aim downwards and a bit to the ladder. Finally jump and boost at the same time. Some ladders are long, and this boost makes the climbing process a lot quicker. Luckily, all the other boost techniques also work on ladders. Those that can pull this off have a huge advantage on Hall's map, because they can jump from the outside ladder onto the roof. From there, it's easy to reach balcony. Wall boosting uses the fast forward dash recoils off collision bodies, so just face the wall and fly backwards. And finally, crab boosting also has you looking straight up and down during first person. It's exactly like floor boosting, but you only jump sideways. Since the October 3rd, 2023 patch, jumping sideways isn't a requirement. You can crab boost forward or backward as well, but before that update, you couldn't get a boost if you were going forwards or backwards. Rest in peace, crab boosting. More seriously, we could rather say that crab boosting is just a sub-technique of floor boosting today. Now you know everything about boosting. All you have to do is choose the boosting technique that suits you the best.